Okay. So hi. Uh this is a little dark room. Okay. So here I have seen that, you know, I'll tell you something. There's this one thing called tension in life. Okay. So this tension of life actually gets created due to a lot of complications which comes into our lives. Right. So what happens that a lot of times we get to understand just one thing. That is when people come into relationship and when people are not so loyal or something, and when you also step into an office or something like that, if you see that there are a lot of politics happening or something like that, so what happens generally is that we face a lot of challenges throughout our lives, right? So it's not only the challenge that is the thing that affects us, it is also the ingenuinity. I don't know whether that word exists or not. Like if things are not genuine per se, so it does affect our life. How? It doesn't affect our life like killing someone, or uh, it's not a physical torture, but then it's a very software-ish kind of a torture or something like that. Like, you don't get affected by your skin, you don't get affected by your tummy pain or something. But then it's a different kind of a stress that gets developed because of one thing that is very popular nowadays. It's a work stress, number one. Number two, it is not only the work stress, it's also the politics. Okay. People play politics, people play dirty politics, and you don't feel good about it, right? And when it happens, when you work, when are working, when you are facing your challenges, when you're doing a lot of things, right? And you're in the midst of a lot of things, and then in that, when these elements adds on to the stress in your schedule, then what it creates is a very horrible thing. It does make you feel like leaving the job or something like that. Similarly, it's not in the case of job. It's also in the case if you're in a friend circle, if you are in a relationship, or if you're closely dating also someone, and maybe you like someone, and you know, even in those places, we face a lot of troubles. Again, not physical, but that software-ish kind of stress, a software-ish kind of trouble that we experience from day-to-day lives, right? So now, how to deal with it? There are two ways how we deal with it. One way is that either you just ignore, just ignore what's happening, and just don't let that affect you as such. You know, it's all about you because you have taken birth. You are alone. Your body is one, and it's only of yours, right? So it's good to support others. It's good to love others. It is good to give your regards to others. But then the first person you should think about is actually you, and then others. If you think about yourself, then only you will be able to think about others. That is one thing. Yes, there are exceptions that people do make sacrifices. They don't think about themselves, but they think about others. But then what happens? In that way, um, I mean, others will also feel kind of bad, right? That look at my mom. She doesn't do anything about herself, but she's only looking after you. But then yeah, uh, self love is really important. So why self love? I know that this is a very different topic. I took it from politics, this, that, and then I am taking all of you to self love, self care. So why is it so important? It is important because that will make you fight for yourself. You know, let us start with a job or something like that. If you do not see people respecting you, then you do something for yourself. And then if you love yourself first, the most, then in that situation, what happens that you leave it, right? You quit. You go somewhere else. Nothing wrong about it. That's one. Number two, what happens that in a friend circle, if you're facing any trouble or something like that, if you love yourself the most, then what happens? That you will have the capability of spreading that love to your friends, which will cancel out few bad words or something like that between you both, right? And if you see that that's not working, then what happens? You leave, you ignore, you stop talking. And it's not about ego, it's not about considering things like really bad or something like that, but self-love is very important. So once you love yourself, then you will find that thing like a driving force to take you home. So our home is not only the home where we go to. The main home is where your perception belongs to, where your own self-worth and those things belongs to. Your house, your home in your head. We have the entire world in our mind, basically. We treat that this is Africa, this is America, this is Los Angeles, this is something Ethiopia, then Nigeria. These are all like all that makes a world. But no, the first biggest world which we have is our brain, and in that brain we have a small corner called home. When we talk about the peace of mind, we actually want to get into those nerves, which is home, right? There, our peace of mind is restored over there. It's stored, not restored, it's stored over there. So basically, what we do is that since we have got this brain in us, so we have to go through each and every nerves. We have to do that. But then at the end of the day, if you're not coming back home brain wise or head wise, then even if you go back home, even then your mind will be there in your office, your mind will be there in your relationship, your mind will be there in your friends. That's it. I mean, that's something good to think about. If it is positive, if it is making you feel happy that even if you are going home and you are still thinking of your friends positively, if you're thinking about your work positively, or maybe you're doing some, if you're in sales or something, then you're doing some work already, you're walking an extra mile and you're talking to your friends or your colleagues or your anyone to do something. If you're thinking about it positively, then it's fine. But then if it is giving you stress, then that means that, buddy, you need to go home, right? You need to go home. You just need to go home. You need to give yourself some time and just order yourself to go home. Just you have to ask yourself to go home. Because what happens that, uh, these nightmares come at night. Why? Because we don't go home before sleeping. Our body is physically at home, right? But then it's not. Our body is physically on the bed, sleeping with the chadar. I mean, the bed sheet, another bed sheet. If you just put it, cover it, and your soft pillow is there, and you're trying to sleep, and then you close your eyes. But then before closing your eyes, make sure that you go home. Your brain needs to go home. Then only you'll feel comfortable about yourself. That's it. Each one of us, we are all good people. We try to do good things and all, but then the best thing which we can do is to bring peace of mind, right? So in terms of relationships, I would say that do not uh, depend on anyone so much that you give your own happiness remote to someone else, right? That's not right. That's not right. In terms of work, you put your peace of mind to someone else's hand. Not right. Even in your friend circle, it's not right. So love yourself the most and see where your mind is leading you to. If your mind says that yes, you should do something, and it does make you feel that yes, there's a possibility that you're going home by doing that, either change in the career options or changing in the partner options or changing in friends also, which is absolutely fair. If people around are toxic, then it's bad, and if your people around are good, then it's all good, right? So I'll just come up with few more videos. I know it's a long boring video maybe for you all, and that's it. Bye. Tada.